Hello and welcome to Galaxy TV's Primetime News. My name is Iribami Salako. We begin with headlines. National Economic Council asks the tax reforms bill be withdrawn from National Assembly so as to allow for wider consultations. Plus on the news, leadership of Academic Staff Union and Non-Academic Staff Union declared ongoing nationwide strike continues until their demands are met. From the international scene, a court in France sentences Rwanda former doctor to 27 years in jail for crimes relating to the 1994 genocide in his country. Details of these and more coming your way soon. To stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday in Abuja said the cordial relations enjoyed between Nigeria, Republic of France, People's Republic of China, and Kingdom of Denmark over many years should translate into mutual economic benefits for citizens, particularly in key areas of education, health, and infrastructure. The president gave an assurance of expanding economic diplomacy at a ceremony at the State House to receive letters of credence from Ambassador of France, Republic Mark Fonbostier, the Ambassador of Kingdom of Denmark, Jens Ole Bash Hansen, and Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Yu Dunhai. President Tinubu told the French ambassador that his friendship with Emmanuel Macron and the diplomatic ties between both countries should be felt by citizens. The French ambassador affirmed the warmth, hospitality and the diversity of Nigerian culture, assuring that he would put all efforts to upscale the partnership for shared economic prosperity. In a meeting with Chinese ambassador, President Tinubu appreciated the President of the Republic of China, Xi Jinping, for hosting him during a state visit to Beijing and participating in the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC. President Tinubu welcomed the ambassador of Denmark, adding that he looked forward to improved relations. The Danish ambassador said his country has evolved a new strategy to improve relations with Africa, and Nigeria will play a central role in the implementation, considering its size and influence on the continent.
So it's France, China, and Denmark. All three are very significant in terms of relationship with Nigeria. China, as you know, recently upgraded its relationship with Nigeria from a comprehensive partnership to a strategic comprehensive partnership, which covers all sectors. Already we're doing a lot with them with the Belt and Road Initiative and the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation. You can see the infrastructure that is being built by Chinese companies, funding from China. So it's something that's very important, not just to Nigeria but to Africa, because of the African Continental Free Trade Area.
The National Economic Council has asked that the tax reform bills be withdrawn from the National Assembly so as to allow for wider consultation and consideration for the benefits of Nigerians. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde announced this while briefing State House correspondents as part of the resolution reached after the Council took presentation from the Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee during their meeting, presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima.
From the Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. Their main focus is fair taxation, responsible borrowing, and sustainable spending. The Council acknowledged that the country is underperforming on all indices as it regards yield from major revenue sources, also tax to GDP ratio, and so on.
Also, following the devastating effects of recent flooding in 217 local governments or 34 states across the country, The National Economic Council has, among other resolutions, charged the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to conduct a massive integrity test on the major dams in the country. Governor of Anambra State, Charles Soludo, also hinted that the council has called for more efforts and collaborations from the state emergency management agencies towards mitigating the devastating effects of flooding. Governor Zulum also conveyed council's commendation for the effect of the ongoing student loan scheme for taking care of education of the most vulnerable, the Education Trust for the Fund Management, as well as the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, the SENI, for their impact in delivering the mandate of the federal government. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, informed that he briefed the Council on the progress and steps being taken by the Tinubu's administration towards ameliorating the present economic realities faced by the citizens as a result of its far-reaching fiscal policies.
On the social register, I want to bring to a kind notice that some months ago, we received a letter from the federal government of Nigeria on the need to validate the social register. And we are asked that if any state is not compatible with the social register, we can complain to the federal government. And states are also allowed to develop their social register and harmonize the state's register as well as the federal register so that we should be on the same page. I think this is no more an issue for now.
Indications from the Senate suggest that the other committee set up by the upper chamber to investigate an alleged economic sabotage in Nigerian oil and gas industry has not abandoned the probe, as recently reported in some media platforms. This is as the chairman of the committee and leader of the Senate, Michael Bamidele, presented a motion at plenary on Thursday to reinstate the earlier decision on the matter. Bamidele, through his motion, explained that the House of Representatives has also set up a similar other committee to investigate the same issue. He noted that it now becomes imperative for both the red and green chambers to work together, improving the issue of sabotage in the oil and gas sector.
The Senate equally observes that there is need for the ad hoc committees of the two chambers to work jointly to avoid duplication and clash in the discharge of their assignment. Accordingly, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate resolves to 1. Recapture the title of the ad hoc committee to National Assembly Joint Ad hoc Committee to investigate alleged economic sabotage in the Nigerian petroleum industry.
That the resolution of the Senate be communicated to the House of Representatives, following which the joint ad hoc committee will be inaugurated by the presiding officers of both chambers. Those in favor of this prayer, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Still with the red chambers, the Nigerian Senate has stressed the need to curtail the rise in cases of drug abuse, especially amongst youth in Nigeria. At a one-day national event on the need to include parents in the fight against drug abuse and reckless behaviors, the Senate equally expressed worry that lack of quick intervention may lead to socio-economic dislocation of the country's youth population. Representing Senate President Godswill Akpabio at the Senate at the event organized on Thursday by the Joint Committee on Drugs and Narcotics in collaboration with the National Association of Nigerian Drug Monitoring, NANDRAM, the Deputy Senate Leader, Lola Ashiru, said the time to fight the problem is now. Correspondent Kunle Ujo reports that Senator Ashiru, who noted that drug abuse fuels crime rate and hinders attainment of quality education, said the nation's problems can be fixed at home, with parents playing a major role in the fight against the menace.
To spark a movement and awakening to the silent epidemic of drug abuse that threatens the fabric of our society. The gathering is not just an event to It is a clear call for parents, communities, and leaders to unite and take a resolute stand against this tide that seeks to wash away the dreams of our youth.
In her opening remarks, convener of the event, Ambassador Christabel Okoye, stressed the need for parents to positively mold the characters of their children at an early life stage. She decried the celebration of drugs in movies and music videos, adding that vulnerable lives have been lost as a result of such impressions.
Nigeria has become a negative world among the community of nations. The reason we always ask for your support to carry out this sensitization and empowerment. You sensitize them, you also empower them to get something doing, to be busy.
The House of Representatives has passed the bill for second reading aiming to raise the retirement age for health workers in Nigeria from 60 to 65 years and from 35 to 40 years of service. Leading the debate, Honorable Wale Ahmed, the bill sponsor, argued that the legislation would allow experienced medical professionals to continue contributing to the health sector while monitoring younger colleagues. He noted that the Japa syndrome, the trend of young health professionals migrating abroad, has negatively impacted the sector. Although individuals retain their right to migrate, Honorable Ahmed suggested that extending the retirement age would support those committed to stay in Nigeria.
The Federal Road Safety Commission report that 90% of road accidents in the country are caused by consumption of alcoholic drinks and hard drugs, among other factors. Also note that consumption of the psychoactive drugs and alcohol increase the risk of motor accident, leading to loss of driving coordination, poor judgment, poor vision, consequently loss of life and property.
Disturbed that many loans from states are drawn from commercial banks and certified by the Federal Ministry of Finance as contracted without full compliance with the constitutional requirement for National Assembly approval. Additionally, there are instances where borrowed funds are not effectively utilized for the intended purpose, undermining the benefit of such loans to the citizen.
Also concerned that the current state of custodial centers across the country is unfit to rehabilitate inmates, thereby leading to increased recidivism and a crime recurrence. Consent of the need for upward review of the Nigeria Correctional Service capital budget allocation to 30 billion in 2025 budget estimate to complete ongoing and abandoned projects in each of 6 geographical zones.
The lower chamber also passed for the second reading the bill to amend the 1999 Constitution, mandating that ministerial and commissioner nominations include assigned portfolios before submission to the National Assembly and State House of Assembly. The proposed legislation, which aims to amend sections 147 and 192 of the 1999 Constitution, is sponsored by Eugene Dibigago from Imo State. Speaking in favor of the bill, Kingsley Chinda, minority leader, said if passed into law, this will make the work of senators more direct by directing questions appropriately during screening.
Worried that after 7 decades of massive devastation and environmental degradation of Niger Delta with its ecosystem, policymakers are still oblivious to the crucial need to encourage artisanal refining and lay a foundation for local technology that will salvage us from energy poverty.
Now to other stories, the leadership of the Academic Staff Union and Non-Academic Staff Union has declared that the ongoing nationwide strike continues until their demand summit. This was the outcome of a closed-door meeting between a delegation of the federal government led by Minister of Education Professor Tahir Mamman and leaders of the two unions held in Abuja on Thursday. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that the meeting, which lasted for 2 hours, discussed issues regarding the demands of the unions and the suspension of the ongoing strike. At the end of the meeting, the Chairman Joint Action Committee of the two unions, Dr. Makolo Azad, appreciated the government's effort for inviting them to a roundtable discussion, adding that the leadership hoped to see the results of the deliberation as soon as possible.
There are very fervent discussions on the issues at stake, and because we always say that Jack of Nasu and Sanu were not strike mongers, there are issues that always lead to strike. And so apart from the current strike, we've been able to discuss number of issues that could crop up tomorrow and you say, Jack again.
On his part, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, represented by the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, said the meeting was called to resolve issues leading to the ongoing strike by the two unions. He assured the government is making frantic efforts to resolve the issue and restore normalcy to the country's ivory tower.
Thank you very much, gentlemen of the press. We've just had a meeting under the directives of the Honorable Minister of Education, who along the line joined us virtually in order to address the ongoing strike commenced by the Joint Action Committee of NASU and SANU. We have reviewed the reasons for the strike, and we have also agreed following our discussion. We have briefed them on the effort of the Federal Ministry of Education to get issues resolved, where we are, and we holistically look at it and then add other issues that are likely to erupt that are not related to strike, so that the ministry can have a holistic approach on all the issues.
Here's the launch of the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. A collapsed building claims life of 10 persons, while 7 others injured victims were rescued alive in Onwara local government area of Ibadan. Details of these and more is coming out to the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Now to the judicial matters. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has reserved judgment in 6 appeals involving the emirship dispute in Kano State. The 3-member panel of justices, led by Justice Muhammad Mustafa, reserved ruling in the chieftaincy appeals for a date to be communicated after the lawyers argued their brief before the court. Arguing the appeals, the lead counsel to the Kano State government, Adegboyega Womolu Sad, and the State Assembly Okichukwu Edeze, asked the appellate court to allow the appeals of respondent counsel, P.H. Obole San, to dismiss them. The panel also struck out 3 motions brought by Alhaji Aminu Baba Dan Angundi for lacking in merit and being an attempt to amend his appellant brief, and awarded a sum of 500,000 naira against them in each, making it 1.5 million naira. The appeals before the appellate court are Alhaji Aminu Adobayero versus Attorney General of Kano State and 10 others, among others. A federal court in Kano, presided over by Justice Abdullahi Liman, notified Governor Abba Yusuf's action of deposing Emir Ado Bayero and appointing Muhammadu Sanusi II on May 23rd. The court held as non-vote the Kano Emirate Council Repeal Bill 2024 passed by Kano State House of Assembly, which voided Bayero's seat. Now to the story teased earlier. A collapsed building has claimed the lives of 10 persons, while 7 others injured were rescued alive at Jegede Olorunshogo in Onuara local government area of Ibadan. The incident occurred at 2 a.m. on Thursday. Confirming the incident through a press release, the General Manager, Oyo State Fire Services, Reverend Akinyemi Akinyinka, said they received distress calls from the people in the neighborhood at 2 a.m. In his assessment visit to the scene, the Commissioner for Lands and Urban Development, Akin Fumilayo Williams, said the government regretted the tragedy and commiserates with families of the deceased, but stressed the government will soon adopt a way of carrying out integrity tests on buildings across the state. He urged people living in buildings with engineering defects to pack out of such houses to avoid unnecessary loss of lives and properties. The local government chairman of Onuara local government, Wari Acton, described the tragedy as unfortunate and sad. He said the council will embark on aggressive sensitization of the dangers of living in dilapidated and deplorable buildings. Some of the dead have been buried at the backyard of the building, while families of others have taken possession of the bodies.
The building is already distressed. It's obvious and it's something visible even to the blind. The building is tired and nobody is supposed to occupy it. And to forestall occurrence of this ugly incident, that's why His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde approved recently what I will call building amnesty, whereby buildings in the state are expected to have a building approval.
Little government can do to forestall such an occurrence, but nevertheless, we are going to sensitize our people that they need to test the integrity of the building they are living in.
This place, now after 12 they get down. They call everybody of landlord association and tenants, they come from Babari house. From starting for everybody, they rush them to hospital.
Not all those stories. A female doctor, Ganiyat Popola, who was kidnapped on December 27, 2023, has regained freedom after 10 months in captivity. A registrar in the Department of Ophthalmology at the National Eye Center, Kaduna, Popola was abducted along with her husband and nephew. Her husband was released in March, while Popola and her nephew remained in captivity. Popola's kidnapping had sparked widespread outrage, particularly among the National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, which went on strike in August to press for the release of their colleague. The President, Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Oshundara, in a statement, confirmed the release of Popola and her nephew. Still on that, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors National Eye Care Center, Kaduna, has expressed joy over the return of their colleague, Dr. Ganiyat Popola, from captivity. The President of National Eye Care Center, Kaduna, Mohammed Upanaki, who couldn't hide his joy, says the entire staff of the university are in jubilation following the return of Dr. Ganiyat Popola from captivity. It will be recalled that 10 months ago, Dr. Ganiyat Popola was kidnapped at the Doctors' Quarter National Eye Care Center, Kaduna, along with her husband and nephew.
I think it's a thing every family and every staff of this hospital has looked forward to. And glory be to God, today we are here, we are talking about it. Some of us have lost hope somehow, but thank God that we are talking positively about this same issue.
Okpanaki, President of North National Eye Care Center, the primary place of assignment where Dr. Ganiyat Popola was kidnapped, thanked the federal government for making sure the colleague reunited with the family safe and sound.
Okay, I've not heard her voice. I confirmed from the family who told me she's been released and she's with them. I'm currently receiving medical care. About whether ransom or no ransom, honestly, I can't categorically say, because you were here 2 months ago, and we all were agitating for federal government to take charge of the issue and see how she can be rescued. And actually, since then, federal government took over the issue and they've been on top of the game.
After demanding a ransom of 200 million naira for the release of Rector of Immaculate Conception Minor Seminary of the Catholic Diocese of Bauchi, Reverend Father Thomas Oyode, operatives of the Edo State Police Command have arrested 2 of the suspected kidnap gang members in connection with the Reverend Father's kidnap. Correspondent Dele Fason has more in this report.
Parading the suspects at the Edo Police Command headquarters in Benin City, the Edo Police Commissioner CP Umoru Ozigi said efforts are ongoing to arrest other members of the gang.
Responded to the unfortunate incident of the kidnap of Reverend Father Thomas Oyode from Diocese Minor Seminary in Agenebode. 2 suspects have been arrested in this regard, while efforts are ongoing to rescue the Reverend Father and apprehend the culprits. In the same vein, the command has reviewed the security situation of the core-related killings that have claimed innocent life in Upper Sepomba area of Benin City. Tactical teams have been charged to commence aggressive stop and search, as well as vehicular and foot patrols to curb court activities and ensure a crime-free environment.
2 suspects among the 7 other suspects narrated their involvement as the Edo Police Commissioner stressed on his commitment to tackle crime and criminality.
Our way going, the next thing, I saw my friends jump away from the bag. What happened? Why are you running? The next thing, police started chasing him. They are now holding. They are now take us to the station.
Okay, we are coming from a party, so there are 3 of them downstairs that we should not have a vehicle and we don't have a transport. We not have a vehicle. Next thing, for the not drive to the phone, they are not showing me arms. So after the they are not saying the man to come down. After the man comes down, they are not driving the vehicle with them. After some days, they are not say they have a buyer. I'm not the one that I have to sell it. They have the one that sell it. They are not take the vehicle with them to Wolu Junction.
The Edo State Police Command remains committed to protecting life and property under my leadership. The command will continue to work diligently and tirelessly to ensure that the good people of Edo State can sleep with their peace of mind. We are warning all criminals to desist from all acts of criminality or relocate from the state, as anyone caught will be dealt with according to the.
Meanwhile, attention will now be shifted to the rescue of the abducted Reverend Father who was abducted on Sunday, 27 October 2024 by gunmen in Agenebode. From Edo State, Dele Fason reporting for Galactic TV News.
The Oyo-Osun Area Command of Nigerian Customs Service seized contraband worth 755.8 million naira and generated 23.9 billion naira in the 3rd quarter of 2024. The command's area controller, Dr. Ben Oramalugo, disclosed this in Ibadan, Oyo State, while briefing journalists on the effort of the command between August and October. He said that the 23.9 billion naira generated in the 3rd quarter reflected a 27.5% increase over the 17.3 billion naira generated in the corresponding period of 2023. He listed the items seized in the period under review to include 433 bags of 50 kg each of foreign rice, 49 sacks of cannabis sativa, 93 pieces of used tires, and 8,850 liters of petrol.
For the period of August 2024 to October 2024, command officers successfully intercepted and seized various contraband with a duty paid value of 755,896,700 naira only. These items include as follows. Let me not bother you because they are all there. Foreign parboiled rice, second-hand clothes, used tires, cannabis, petroleum motor spirit, fake pharmaceuticals.
Ora Malugo stressing collaborative effort between the customs services and other sister agencies, says the command will do more to rid the society of the use of drug abuse and fake pharmaceutical drugs. Also speaking, the Southwest Director of NAFDAC, Rosalie Ajayi, and the Chief Superintendent Narcotic of the NDLEA, Olatunji Abogore, promised to destroy seized cannabis and fake drugs and deliver to the agencies by the Oyo Osun Customs Service.
Is to assist our sister agency, the NDLEA. In the area of pharmaceutical tools, we have done a lot. Like I said, the first figure was 1.2 billion. And the second one is almost the same value. You should understand the dangerous effect of fake pharmaceuticals.
Permit drugs to be brought into Nigeria through landed borders. There are dedicated ports where drugs come into Nigeria. So any drug coming through landed borders is a suspect. And they are the ones that have always been helping us to get these drugs, and they invite us. Where there is any controversy, they invite us, and then we confirm to them. And then many times we take the drugs to the lab as well.
It's not in Nigeria only. So NDLEA is doing every effort through sensitization operations that we carry out in order to prosecute the producer. We see people that are using drugs as somebody that is sick, that needs help.
Leadership of the Student Union Body of Federal College of Education Technical, ACOCA, has commended the School Management Committee for the reduction in damages levy from 10,000 naira to 7,000 naira. It will be recalled that during the protest for removal of former Provost Professor Aziz, the face-off ensued between the irate students and the Government Council, and their official vehicles were vandalized, which led to the closure of the school.
A very big, let me say, special thank you to our national body, that's the NANS, because with their help, we are able to discuss it with the management to some certain level. They've already reduced it to 7,000 naira per student with affidavit of good behavior and a letter from parents of good behavior.
The Deputy Speaker of the School Senate also commended the present school management for positive changes in the school, especially the hostels, which was a major issue during the protest. The school is expected to resume for academic activities from Monday, 4th of November.
We're working on how to make everything to be in good order and good condition. And as they promised us that anything that we need, if there is any complaint again, we should just come straight to them. But I believe management will be always management, students will be students. We pray we don't have any arguments later, soon or later.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies has criticized the underrepresentation of women in Nigeria's National Assembly, where female participation currently stands at less than 10%. A member of NILDS, Titilayo Daniel, expressed this view at a training session on women's political participation held in Shagamu and facilitated by the Deputy Chief Whip and representative of Remo Federal Constituency, Adewumi Ononuga. Daniel emphasized that this disparity reflects the absence of women's voices, who constitute over half of Nigeria's estimated 200 million population in key decision-making bodies. She affirmed that NILDS is committed to collaborating with all stakeholders to support female legislators and expand women's representation in politics. A community leader from Shagamu, Adebola Adejumo, highlighted the importance of building confidence in women and recognizing their contributions to nation building.
Political landscape still reflects the stark gender disparity. As of now, women make up
less than 10% of the members of the National Assembly. This means that the voices of more than half of our population are largely absent in critical making. This is rather an embarrassing statistics for Nigeria as the giant of Africa when compared to other African countries like Rwanda with 61.3%, South Africa with 46.2%, Malawi and Sierra Leone with 41 and 30.4% respectively.
What we can call a quality leadership skill that our MHR put together to make sure she was using all the system to mobilize the woman, to count them to let them know that they also have a very strong impact.
The management of Ogun River Basin Authority has urged property owners at the Sherry-Olofin community to stop blaming perennial flooding being faced by the community on release of water from Oyo Dam. The managing director of the authority, Dr. Deji Ashiru, stated this while speaking at a town hall meeting with property owners of Lagos Ogun River Basin Communities Association held at the community. Dr. Ashiru specifically declared that Oyo Dams was a blessing rather than the bad name as it has been attributed to, stressing that the entire communities would have been swept away if Oyo Dam had not gated water inflow from its upstream. He disclosed that the authority had initiated efforts with the presidency towards enabling the authority to access ecological funds which could be used to construct another dam downstream on Oyo River.
If there is no Oyo Dam, there will not be sharing. If that dam also collapsed today, the entire of sharing will be submerged. Because the sharing community where we are here now is on a floodplain. It's a floodplain. Part of Abeokuta will no longer exist. The problem of the perennial flooding in the sharing is beyond Oyo Dam. But Oyo Dam is a blessing to the sharing community.
Based on the 13th, it was as at 12th, so on the 13th, in which you pointed out that 1,484.20 million cubic meters. The figures you are giving us now, if we've gotten those figures as regularly as we have been getting them before, it would have been easier for us to manage the situation. So I hope that after this meeting, our communication issues will be resolved.
Now, we move to the international desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. A court in France has sentenced a Rwandan former doctor to 27 years in jail for crimes relating to the 1994 genocide in his country. Eugene Rwamusio was found guilty of complicity in genocide, complicity in crimes against humanity, and of conspiring to prepare for those crimes by spreading propaganda and attempting to cover up evidence of mass murder. The 65-year-old, who was acquitted of charges of genocide and crimes against humanity, denied any wrongdoing. Local media reported that his lawyers said they intended to appeal. His trial was the 8th in France relating to the genocide in 1994, when an estimated 800,000 people were killed. Ethnic Tutsis and politically moderate Hutus were targeted in a 100-day massacre by Hutu extremists. Prosecuting lawyer Nicolas Perrin said there was no evidence to show Rwamusio's personally carried out summary executions or act of torture, but he said the former medic should not escape his responsibilities as one can kill with words. Prosecutors accused Rwamusio, born to a Hutu family, of disseminating anti-Hutsis propaganda. They also quoted witness statements which accused him of helping bury victims in mass graves in a final effort to destroy evidence of genocide. The prosecution had requested he be jailed for 30 years, while representatives for survivors had called on him to be imprisoned for life. Angelique who was 13 during the genocide, said she saw Ramusio at a roadblock in the southern town of Butare and heard him encouraging militiamen to kill Tutsi people. 6 people have died as nearly 100 Rohingya landed by boat in Indonesia's province in the latest wave of arrivals from Myanmar in recent days. Mifat Jut Adik, chief of a local fishing community, told newsmen that 96 people, including 7 children, were still at a beach in the eastern part of Aceh on Sumatra Island. 2 bodies were found on the shore and 4 floating in the sea, said Saiful Anwar, a village official in East Ace. 86 people were taken for medical treatment, he added. East Ace acting district head Amrullah M. Ridha told newsmen the refugees will be kept in tent on the beach until the authorities found shelters for them. About 300 Rohingya came ashore last week in the provinces of Aceh and North Sumatra. The United Nations Refugee Agency has called on Indonesia's government to ensure their safety. An estimated 2,500 Rohingya arrived by boat in Aceh from January 2023 to March 2024, as many as had arrived in Indonesia in the previous 8 years, according to the UN agency. The mainly Muslim ethnic group faces persecution in Myanmar, and hundreds of thousands have fled military crackdowns, seeking shelter in refugee camps in neighboring Bangladesh. Ukraine is using dozens of domestically made AI augmented systems for its drone to reach targets on the battlefield without being piloted, a senior official said, disclosing new details about the race against Russia to harness automation. Systems that use artificial intelligence allow cheap drones carrying explosives to spot or fly to their target in areas protected by extensive signal jamming, which has reduced the effectiveness of manually piloted drones. The shift towards the use of AI, particularly in drone targets finding and flight control, is an important emerging front in the technology race that has unfolded since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February 2022. She said they were currently being used in a targeted way in special operations. Automated drone systems are in high demand among soldiers searching for ways to beat the rapidly increasing use of electronic warfare on the battlefield. Electronic warfare systems create a protective dome around their location by sending out powerful signals that disrupt communication between drones and their pilots, causing them to lose control of the craft and miss their targets. These systems, once only used to protect the highest value pieces of equipment, have become a common feature in trenches and on regular vehicles used by soldiers as they seek to protect themselves from the threat of first-person view drones. Still on foreign news, Spanish rescue teams scored flooded fields and stranded cars on Thursday for those still missing after devastating floods in the Valencia region that killed at least 95 people, with forecasts of more bad weather prompting storm alert for the north. Local authorities have not disclosed how many people are still unaccounted for after Europe's deadliest flooding years, but Defense Minister Margarita Robles said the death toll was likely to rise. Rescuers used helicopters to winch survivors to safety in areas that were still flooded and combed through thick silt and the wreckage of vehicles in search of bodies. Diggers and tractors equipped with water pumps were brought in to clear debris from the street, television footage showed. The floods in Valencia battered the region's infrastructure, sweeping away bridges, roads, rail tracks and buildings as rivers burst their banks. About 80 kilometers of roads in the eastern region were seriously damaged or impossible, said the past Transport Minister Oscar Puente. Many were blocked by abandoned cars. Calm weather returned on Thursday to the hardest hit areas around the city of Valencia, Spain's third largest. But the AEMET State Weather Agency issued its highest level of alert for the province of Castellón. Typhoon Kongray, the biggest typhoon to directly hit Taiwan in nearly 30 years, has made landfall on the island's eastern coast. Schools and workplaces across Taiwan were closed on Thursday and supermarkets were stripped bare as millions of residents braced for the storm, which hit about 13:40 local time. At one point before it made landfall, Typhoon Kongray was sparking winds over 200 kilometers per hour close to its center, making it the equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane. Hundreds of flights and ferries along with Taiwan Stock Exchange have also been suspended. The typhoon has injured over 70 people and killed at least one person, authorities said on Thursday afternoon. A 56-year-old woman died after a falling tree struck a vehicle she was in. It has also caused power outages in 500,000 households, according to electricity supplier Taiwan Power Company. It is unusual for a typhoon this big to come so late in a year. Taiwan's typhoon season, according to its weather agency, generally falls between July and September. For the last 8 decades, all the strongest typhoons have come within that window. But this year, 2 huge storms have hit Taiwan in October, another being Super Typhoon Krathon, which killed 4 people and left more than 700 injured. Finally, on foreign news, more than 400 alleged victims have so far contacted the legal team working on the case against the late Egyptian billionaire Mohammed Al-Fayed, who has been accused of sexual abuse and rape, lawyer Dean Armstrong said on Thursday. In September, it was revealed that Al-Fayed, who died last year aged 94, sexually abused female staff at his London department store Harrods, forced them to have medical screenings and threatened consequences if they tried to complain. Al-Fayed always denied similar accusations raised by other reporters before his death. Harrods did not immediately reply to a reporter's request for comment about the lawyer's comment. The store has apologized, said it was appalled by the allegations, and launched a process for any current or former Harrods employees who wish to claim compensation. Another lawyer, Bruce Drummond, said that more than 400 claims have been made by women from around the world, mostly from Britain, but also from the United States, Australia, Malaysia, Spain, South Africa and other countries. Victims include the daughter of a former U.S. ambassador to Britain and the daughter of a well-known soccer player, Drummond said, without giving any names. Newsmen said Harrods had failed to intervene and helped to cover up abuse allegations during his ownership. Lawyers have criticized the Harrods-run compensation scheme, saying some of the victims do not feel comfortable to reach out to Harrods directly for compensation, as that is where the abuse unfolded. And that is all we have on the foreign news.
Coming your way next, entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on the news desk today.
Nollywood actress Ekene Umenwa and her husband have dedicated their child to Mother Mary. It was reported in September that Ekene announced that she welcomed her first fruits in the US. She revealed that what she went through, Jesus and Mother Mary can explain. Expressing gratitude to her maker, she went on to praise mothers as she prayed for awaiting mothers. The movie star, who has returned to Nigeria following the birth of their child, revealed that the flight shifting couldn't stop her from taking her baby to Mother Mary before she entered her father's house. She disclosed that this is what she told her mother before she left. It isn't surprising to see Ekene dedicate her daughter to Mother Mary, as the movie star has been dedicated to her faith. During her pregnancy, Ekene had channeled her inner Virgin Mary for her maternity shoot. Trolls slam actress Ekene Umenwa as they accuse her of idol worshipping following videos of her dedicating her baby to Mother Mary. Controversial activist Very Dark Man apologizes to the Nigerian police over unauthorized use of its uniform. Recall that days ago, the media figure had taken many unawares after he donned a police uniform and declared himself a social media police sanitizer in the e-streets. However, he had been cautioned by the Nigerian police over the use of their garb. A recent video online shows Very Dark Man rendering an apology to the Nigerian police. He noted that he had only made a uniform similar to it, and his wearing it wasn't in any way an attempt to satirize or mock the forces. Very Dark Man rendered an apology to the forces and thanked them for their selfless service in protecting lives and properties of the masses. Despite a series of controversies, controversial singer Portable continues to soar high both in Nigeria and overseas. The singer had been recognized by the government of Canada. Taken to his Instagram page, Portable expressed joy that he is finally in Canada. He appreciated the Canadian government and the city of Brampton for the Corporation of the City of Brampton Award. Many flooded his comment section, singing his praises. Hollywood actress Regina Daniels has made a promise to her best friend, Antoinette Cassidy, as she gives her a new car. Taken to her Instagram page, the best friend revealed that the movie star and wife of a billionaire had gotten her a car, despite it not being her birthday, Christmas or Valentine's, expressing her love for her. In her comment section, Regina noted how that was their dream car in the past. Making a promise to her, Regina vowed to keep working hard as she can gift her a Ferrari because she deserves it. Fans and friends flooded the post with congratulatory messages, admiring the strong bond between the two and Regina's thoughtful gesture. The gift has quickly become a trending topic, with many praising Regina's support and loyalty towards those close to her.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Riz Blossom. Bye for now.
And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Iribami Salako. Goodbye.
Bribery and corruption reaches into every corner of the world.
Are you ready?